Welcome back to another episode of The Quest for Self. I'm your host, Allie. Have you ever made plans with friends, gotten ready, gone out, and then halfway through the night, you're like, why am I even here? Well, that was me this week, and I want to talk about it because I think so many of us stay in situations just to be polite, or to not seem like too much, or too picky, or too dramatic, or whatever. But the truth is, the more I grow, the more I realize that when the vibe is off, I don't need to stay just to prove I can hang. Sometimes walking away is the most powerful thing you can do for your peace, your energy, and for your self respect. So, this week, one of my friends who moved to Barcelona came to visit, and we were invited to this German guy's birthday, someone I had met a little while ago. The plan was drinks at his place first, and then head to a club. We got to his house and it was fine at first. Honestly, there just wasn't a vibe. But then the Uber conversation started. And here's the thing, I'm not expecting five-star treatment, but I thought it was kind of basic birthday etiquette, like you invite us, you at least help organize logistics. We'd already bought tickets to the club, we were showing up for his night, and he couldn't even order an Uber for all of us. He ordered one for his group, and it felt very much like, you guys figure yourselves out. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. And maybe it sounds small, but it's not about the Uber, it's the energy. It's the unspoken tone of, you figure yourself out. And then, as we were all coordinating to leave, they told us to wait outside for them. And I'm like, excuse me? We're not going to wait outside until you guys make it to make it easier on you. And that kind of energy really gets to me. Not just the lack of consideration, but the lack of presence, of awareness. We got there and it was Turkish 90s music, which to be fair, I already knew might not be my vibe, but I was open to checking it out. Except it just wasn't hitting. The crowd was not giving. The energy was just not me, and there were no cute guys. And I could feel myself forcing it. I told myself to push through, to not make a thing out of it. Go with the flow because fun is what I make it. So I danced, I got into the crowd, I really tried to be in it. And then I had this moment where I thought, why am I even doing this? Why am I trying so hard to enjoy something I'm just not enjoying? And listen, sometimes we do that. But if you ever find yourself in that space, here are a few quick ways to protect your energy without bailing immediately. Number one, step outside for a few minutes to reset. Number two, breathe, literally. Take a few grounding breaths and check in with your body. Three, give yourself permission to sit it out, observe, or not force a smile. Number four, ask yourself, would staying longer add anything to my night or just take more from me? You don't have to leave the moment things feel off, but you do have the right to regulate yourself, pause, and decide intentionally what your next move is. And I think we do that a lot, especially women. We smile through it, we stay at the party, we try to be low maintenance, we try not to make things awkward because we don't want to be the one who kills the vibe. But What about your own vibe? So I did just that. I left the dance floor, went to a space by myself, took a couple of breaths, and eventually I hit a wall. I said goodbye to two of my friends and I left. I didn't do the big round of goodbyes. I didn't try to explain myself. I just honored the feeling. I'm done. And yeah, part of me felt a little rude, but a bigger part of me felt proud. Proud that I didn't abandon myself just to seem easygoing, that I didn't betray my own intuition just to be polite. I think there's so much unspoken power in not forcing yourself to stay in rooms that no longer feel good. Even if your friends are there, even if you got dressed up, even if you paid. We don't owe anyone our presence just to keep the mood light. I'm not willing to dim myself for someone else's moment, especially when no one is even really checking if I'm okay. So the next morning, I woke up and I told myself, today is a new day and I'm choosing joy. I took my dog Mia out for a walk and I ended up having the sweetest conversation with a woman and her dog. I later ran into this older lady in the neighborhood who's always so kind, and we shared a moment that just filled my cup. I then went to this pastry shop I've been wanting to visit for months, and I bought a delicious chocolate croissant. I had been craving that for a while now, and I ate that with no remorse. I sat on a bench with Mia, and I just felt myself coming back to life. That's what honoring your energy does. That's what listening to yourself, even when it's inconvenient, opens you up to peace, pleasure, presence. What could have been a bad night became a win because I listened to myself. I didn't make it mean anything about me. I didn't spiral. I didn't sit in shame. I chose me. And honestly, that's the kind of growth I want to keep choosing. There will always be another party, another night out, another group hang. But my energy, that's sacred. And I'll protect it even when no one else is. So, if you're listening to this and you've ever found yourself in a space, whether it's a party, a dinner, a conversation, or even a relationship, and something just feels off, I want to offer you some questions to help you check in with yourself in those moments. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me, or am I doing it to please someone else? Do I feel energized or drained? Am I trying to convince myself to enjoy this? If I could leave right now without guilt, would I? And what would it look like to honor myself in this moment? Because the truth is, the moment you realize you're shrinking yourself, pushing past your own discomfort, or ignoring your inner nudge just to be liked, that's your sign. Your energy is information, and when it feels off, pause. Instead of pushing through, reclaim your energy. Step away for a breath. Say no without explaining yourself. Choose to go home, rest, dance alone, or take yourself on a walk. Do something that feels good for you, not good for optics, not good for the group, but good for you. Sometimes joy doesn't look like staying at the party. Sometimes joy looks like saying no thanks and grabbing a chocolate croissant on your way home. The more you do this, the more you check in, pause, and choose you, the more you'll build a life that actually feels like yours. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of The Quest for Self. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, like, follow, subscribe, comment, and share. It would mean the world. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media, The Quest for Self.